Hi everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming new moon taking place on the 23rd of April 2020 in the sign of Taurus, more specifically, approximately around 3 degrees and 30 minutes of this sign. Now, generally speaking, new moons are always associated with new beginnings. They represent the moment when the moon is covered in total darkness, and this brings out a certain fertility where the moon can take into herself, just like a sponge, goals, desires. It's perfect for planting seeds of attention, but it can also have a totally karmic manifestation where the new beginning is just fated and it's going to appear at one point in the following 6 months of your life, because new moons usually have a sphere of manifestation of a week before they take place and 6 months after. So anywhere in that time frame, a fantastic and beautiful new beginning can take place in your life, especially where 3 degrees and 30 minutes of Taurus falls into your own personal chart. Now, generally speaking, Taurus is the ruler of the second astrological house, which has everything to do with our sense of self worth, our finances, our values, our material situation, everything that physically reflects our worth, our value, and also the tendencies of how we manage money, how we manage our finances, and our relationship to money, our relationship to external resources, our relationship to external values, so to speak. So it's a really powerful astrological house, which in the present moment has the planet Uranus traversing it, and it's going to take Uranus approximately 7 years to complete its transit in the sign of Taurus. So so this means that our value systems are definitely going to change, are going to evolve, are going to be upgraded in the next 7 years. And this usually is a slow but steady process because Uranus is not that comfortable in the sign of Taurus because Uranus is really quick energy. It is the power of cerebral activities. Uranus is the highest octave of Mercury, so it has much to do with the superior functions of our minds. It has much to do with our visionary spirits, with our superconscious, with our infinite intelligence. So usually everything that it touches, it tends to pull it into the future. It tends to cause an evolution, an upgrade, so to speak, which can happen in various different kind of ways, because Uranus is also the planet of surprises, of shocks, of revolution, of rebellion. Usually it represents the cold sword of truth, objective truth, divine truth, the highest octave of what we call truth. So every time Uranus touches something or is part of a celestial conversation, there's also an element of truth, disillusion, a wake up call, so to speak, where we are confronted with objective reality as objective as a human being can possibly perceive it. But that is why Uranus is also the planet of awareness, because each and every time it affects our life, its main purpose is to open our awareness to its maximum potential, so to speak. Because the more aware we are, the more open minded we are, the better we can tap into the objectivity of everything. So, the reason why I'm telling you this is because Uranus on its own is changing, it is evolving, upgrading the sign of Taurus, which is our value systems, but at the same time, it is also Mother Nature, it is also the earth, the physical earth. So everything, both us as human beings and our collective, but also the planet in itself, is going through an evolution, an upgrade, so to speak, a rearrangement when the old values have to disappear and give way to the new ones in order for them to reflect our current state, our current inner state, what we truly hold as values. Not as much the customs and traditions which were built on what we held on what we once held in the past as values. It has to reflect the now. It has to reflect the future, especially where all of us are going to be heading towards. So this new moon in the sign of Taurus can be a really positive beginning, because all of us know that due to the coronavirus and all the global turmoil, our value systems are changing already, but they're maybe changing in a rather unpleasant way, because right now we're facing collapse. We're facing in having to confront the truth that the way things used to work until this present moment are no longer gonna work, and this is absolute certainty. There's nothing to fix anymore. Basically, all we have to do, all we can do, the only option that we have is go with the flow, accept what Uranus is trying to do in Taurus, and all of us have to just step into the future, not fearing the disaster so much. Because the last time Uranus was in Taurus, I believe that was in the 1930s, when the world also faced a huge economical, financial crisis, and it had much to do with famine as well. So we can look at the way the past, this cycle, Uranus's transit in Taurus played out in the past, and we can know that ultimately it's going to lead all of us into a stable, more secure, more authentic future, just as it did in the 30s, because the crisis was bad and lots of people suffered, even died. It was a big drama in the lives of many people, but still, it led us to the modern era from a financial and economic perspective. And there was a certain time in this modern era when humanity as a collective did enjoy moments of prosperity, so to speak. So it wasn't all bad, it wasn't all corrupted, it wasn't all fake and illusionary. It had a lot of good elements to it. And that is what Uranus is doing right now. So looking back at what happened in the 30s can give us an authentic picture how all of this is going to transcend, how all of this is going to lead us towards a future which reflects who we are in the present moment and who we desire to become as a species. So this new moon in the sign of Taurus is a really important moment in time, because we know for certain now that something new is gonna begin. Now that new might not be at first glance that positive, because it could be the start of the big crisis, it could be the pivotal point when the economy collapses, but at the same time, since it's a new moon, it has to also birth new solutions, whatever has to take the place of the old. And right now, we may only see the idea of it, the principle, the theory, not as in physically manifested, but it can give us a really good picture how the world from a financial and economic perspective is going to look like in the next 6 months, where all of this is leading us. So yes, on one hand, it's definitely going to start the crisis. All of us are going to be feeling the crisis, the financial part of the crisis, that much more, but solutions are also on their way. And this is why this Taurus new moon is so special, because it's taking place almost on top of Uranus. So these three planets, better said, are interconnected, and their symbolism joins as one. So we know that it's birthing something totally revolutionary. We know that it's birthing technologies. It is birthing maybe cryptocurrency or a new payment method. It is revolutionizing our banking systems. It is definitely eliminating cash-based societies. It is changing everything for the better, just that the change is pretty hard at the beginning, and we are at that beginning. But of course, it doesn't just have to be about money and finances, and it definitely doesn't have to just be about the world stage and how it's going to affect us globally, because depending where this degree of Taurus falls in your personal chart, this can represent a fantastic new beginning for you. And since Taurus is an earth sign, earth energy, it can take very palpable material shapes and forms, and usually it promotes your own personal evolution in that area of your life. So it's something really to look forward to. Many people, many astrologers and students of astrology usually meditate and set seeds of intention, set new goals, new purposes at around the new time of a new moon. So maybe if you're guided to do this, it would be a fantastic opportunity for you. Now, from a totally different perspective, Taurus is also a rigid earth sign, so it doesn't change too easily. And this means that this new moon is definitely going to take us out of our comfort zones. May it be collectively, may it be individually. It is a wake up call that we need to abandon the comfort, we need to abandon the illusion of security, and just embody what we know we have inside. Try out new things, have the courage, have the power to risk a little bit of our personal comfort in order to get out of our shells and express ourselves, try new experiences, dare to go in life where we have never had the courage to go. So, yes, this energy is rather chaotic because Uranus is the planet of chaos, but maybe this is like a constructive chaos because it's still the sign of Taurus, so it's fertile. It's like a fertile chaos, which has more chances to play out in a positive and empowering way than in a negative way, as in losses and risks not paying off that much. This is also really good creative energy. So chances are, if you always felt in your life that you were skilled or talented at something, but never had the chance to try it out, never had the chance to explore yourself, to explore your creative side, regardless of what that is, this new moon can give you such an opportunity in life. And since it's in the second astrological house of Taurus, it can lead you to an upgrade of your own personal value systems. Maybe your sense of self-worth is going to increase tenfold because physical reality can reflect just how valuable you are in a very palpable and practical manner. But it needs you to leave your comfort zone, to have courage, to have faith in yourself. But don't get me wrong, this isn't blind faith, this isn't like the spiritual kind of faith, this is like logical self-trust, because Uranus will reveal to you that you have every logical, palpable reason to believe in yourself because you're actually that good. It's not that much spiritual, it's not that much just psychological empowerment, but rather the objective truth. If physical reality reflects that you are truly good, that you're truly valuable, that you truly deserve the recognition, well then it's a really positive sign, isn't it? Now this new moon forms a very powerful celestial conversation of maximum tension with Saturn. But this just adds to the energy of Uranus square Saturn. So basically, what it means on its own, it is the confrontation of the old value systems, rules, traditions, customs, even unwritten rules, like even the current moral rules that govern human society, which is basically Saturn in Aquarius, the sign of the individual. So this represents both those rules and regulations, the customs, which govern society, as in the common rules, but also our own individual rules that we have for ourselves. And Uranus in Taurus represents the modern. It represents the future, the futurism, the highest philosophies, the highest principles, everything that is new and is trying to revolutionize the value systems. So Uranus in Taurus has a technological side to it because it is a very futuristic energy. So its manifestation always has to do with like cyberspace, internet, technology, actual science, scientific progress, applied science, and especially in the sign of Taurus, it can represent genetic research, geologic research, theological research, as in the power of science, but in a way that it has much to do with finances, with values, with the way we govern money, the way we manage money as a human collective. So the new and the old, Saturn and Uranus, are clashing together in an ideological battle in order to revolutionize society and society's value systems. And this new moon sitting on top of it and being part of this square is a really powerful sign, meaning that something new, something revolutionary in the next 6 months, at any time, at any given time in the next 6 months, is going to manifest. It is going to enter our consciousness, our sphere of awareness collectively, which is going to start the change of ideologies, the upgrade, so to speak. So we might see this playing out in a very scientific way, as in birth of new technologies, as in maybe scientists are going to come up with something to handle the medical side of things. It can also be any kind of new technology, anything on the internet, virtual reality, cyberspace, cryptocurrency. At the same time, it also means that we individually, we as people in our own personal lives, are going to upgrade our own value systems. And this upgrade of value systems may not have to do that much with the astrological conversations of this new moon, because it began a month before, so to speak. Now, this month's full moon, if you remember, took place in the sign of Libra. And that sign is ruled by Venus, and it has much to do with love because it rules our partnerships. Even professional or any kind of alliance, one-on-one alliance, is based on attraction and on love, even if it's not sexual. It can be you love a principle, you love a trait, you love a skill, you love something. So, during the time of the full moon, the light of the moon revealed certain truths in our relationships, giving us the chance to take control, take back our powers, and find a greater expression of equality in all our relationships, including the relationship with the self, with ourselves. Now, this new moon is taking place in the sign of Taurus, which is also ruled by Venus. So this is all about Venus. This is truly all about love, because Taurus, the value systems, they're based on love. They're based on what we love to have in our lives, what we love about ourselves, what we love within ourselves. So everything is about attraction. It is about love energy, just not in a romantic way. It is in a very philosophical way, so to speak. Now, Venus, according to the ancients, in the sign of Libra, where it is her daily expression, she is the celestial Aphrodite, because she talks about the principle of love, the philosophy of love, the thought of love. In the sign of Taurus, she takes on the form of her nightly expression, where she is the earthly Aphrodite, as in the embodiment of love, as in physical love, as in love affecting our physical realities and physical bodies, because we are, after all, are incarnated physical beings where we embody our spirit. So this is a very powerful Venusian activity. And if you look at the positioning of Venus herself, well, she is in the sign of Gemini, a dual sign, the sign of the twins, where she tries to link together both the philosophy of love, Libra, but also the embodied love, Taurus. And when these two expressions of love meet and have a chance to harmonize, well, then that is a massive spiritual, emotional, philosophical upgrade within us, because we align much more honestly, much more authentically with whatever we love. May it be an activity, may it be a virtue, may it be a person, may it be sexual, may it be of any kind of nature, it is still love. And as I have said in my previous videos, love is a very powerful motivational force, because everything that we do, every reaction we have is based on it. If what we try to attract in our lives has to be based on our love for that idea, for that person, activity, whatever it is based on love. But even things which we do not like, which we hate, which we repulse, are based on a very twisted expression of love, where we are trying to protect our ability to enjoy everything that we love. So we repulse everything that bothers it, that would intervene, that would not allow us to enjoy what we love, not to allow us to embody what we love. So inside our human psyches, so much of who and what we are is based on love and attraction, and it shouldn't be a big surprise because the universe is built on love and attraction, really. Just think of the subatomic worlds where the particles attract each other or repulse each other. But certain particles, especially the quarks, when they find each other, when they attract each other, that force between them makes them so powerful that it takes trillions of gigatons of energy, so to speak, to break up that nucleic connection. So, physically, quantum physically, we have a proof of just how powerful love is, the energy of love, which can take a million different types of manifestations. May it be the highest octaves of divine love, Neptune, may it be physical love, as in attraction, as in sexual activities, may it be our creational energies, our divine spark, where we give that love a shape and form in the form of a child, childbirth, having children. That is also an expression of love. That also is the manifestation of Venus, so to speak, because everyone has to have a mother, a Venus, in her life, in their lives. And since we are talking about Venus, during this time, Venus receives the trine, a celestial conversation of supreme harmony from Mars in Aquarius, and this means that this new moon can really empower us to take action, to make choices, to try our best and ambition ourselves to get where we like to be in life, to get what we desire, to achieve our goals. And Mars in Aquarius represents the power of the people, the power of interconnected individuals, the power of masses, where Venus in the sign of Gemini represents the power of our minds, the unified power of our minds and thoughts, which are really powerful, creative energy, regardless from which perspective we look at it. So even though this trine has nothing to do with the new moon astrologically, it is still a complementary energy which promises us evolution, which determines us to act, to take action, express ourselves, create. If you're an artist, if you're a speaker, if you work on the internet, create, share, ambition yourself, do whatever you can, because it can lead you to great rewards, because this new moon is taking place in a very material sign of Taurus. Now, during this time, Mercury also sextiles Venus, which is a really powerful energy, because it represents the courage, the ambition to speak your words, to speak your truth, to speak love, regardless what that love means, regardless if it's for a person, regardless if it's just an affirmation into the universe that, listen, this is what I love, this is what I like, this is what I like, what I would like to do, and please help me. That is also one way to use this energy and this new moon, making affirmations, speaking directly into the divine intelligence and asking it for help, stating your intentions and what you would like to accomplish, and chances are help is going to enter your life one way or another, because this is what the practicality and the power of your mind truly means. This is what Uranus is trying to teach us, to have faith that our minds can actually create and bend and shape reality, physical reality. And it's not just big woo-woo, it's actually science. The neurological researches of the world's most eloquent psychiatrists have proven that our perceptions and what we program into our minds actually shape our realities, and they can do so very many things which science doesn't even know about. So this new moon is going to be quite a special moment. One, because it is definitely going to upgrade our value systems, and this is a big global upgrade. Yes, Uranus is doing that, but this new moon can be a really important moment in those 7 years. It can represent a fantastic new beginning, something that begins the chain reaction, so to speak. But at the same time, is also a perfect opportunity to find out, to align, to refine everything that we love deep inside, and especially use that power of love as in a very creative way to express ourselves and to make significant changes in the world through whatever we love. Of course, Venus is also going to be during this time in shadow, because she'll soon going to prepare for her retrograde. And it is absolutely true that in the sign of Gemini, this is a very highly uncomfortable energy, because it's dual. What do you love? Do you love it? Don't you love it? It your mind is going to doubt everything. Your mind is going to question everything. You won't be sure about what you love, what you do not love, or you can love something and hate it at the same time. So this is a highly confusing Gemini type of energy, especially that at this time, Venus is also going to be squaring Neptune, which is illusions, which is feeling all kind of wishy-washy, uncertain, confused, emotional for no reason. But there is a purpose to this, because this moment of confusion, not knowing what we truly love and what we don't, helps us dig in that much deeper, helps us discover, helps us research our own psychology, understand ourselves that much better, and most importantly, to understand that love can change and shift, and it shouldn't be something rigid. It shouldn't be something that you feed intentionally. It has to be free. It has to live a life of its own, so to speak. So, in conclusion, on one hand, yes, this new moon dancing together with Uranus can be quite the energy of revolution and restlessness. So we might be seeing that playing out on the world stage, where people are going to be protesting against all the restrictions and will demand the truth and explanations for parts of the whole global crisis which do not make that much sense. But on the other hand, it's also a perfect and magical and beautiful opportunity to step out of our comfort zones and embody what we love. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a fantastic new moon in Taurus, everyone. Bye for now.